Sir, you also were panelist at one of the mental health uh,
Yeah.
panel which was there. So, is there something from that there you can share it with our viewers on how overall it can help?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the space that you live has a profound impact on your mind. The house that you live or the apartment that you live, and a few important design features that I feel that we try to incorporate is one. The most important feature in any architectural, any house is light, natural daylight. So the design should optimize and get in as much light as possible. As you know, if you walk into any house, it's dark even in the morning. If I have to switch on the light at 10 a.m. in the morning, that means there's something wrong in the design. Either the windows are too small or there's no light coming in. And believe me, no light, especially when there was supposed to be natural light in your house, is depressing. It is proven that dark spaces are depressing. Again, the question comes in 30-40 site when I'm hemmed in by closed houses, probably 2 feet setback, and the neighbor has not left any space. So the back front, the only light is coming from the road. Yes, you have a challenge, but I think as architects, we have. I think one area that we can really use is the roof, where we can build skylights, get a cutout, get light in, which and then probably have the rooms facing the skylight so that and have openable windows for privacy. These rooms will also, as I told earlier, that you can see your family below, above, connect with the sky is very important. I think we should fill your house with plants. Of course, some of our clients are very hesitant because of the maintenance, but that's up to you. But I would really encourage because plants induce
To whatever
a
scale, if
positive
you have
feel.
a small
Yes,
space, a small plant, but there should be something because I
yes,
think I read it somewhere that all the five elements which
yes,
makes this
yes,
earth. So,
yes.
some way of connecting with that inside your home really has
Definitely,
a
and it's proven that there are around 5 to 6 plants, which I think it's validated by NASA. They remove the air pollutants as much like you have regular plants like a ZZ plant, aloe vera, all these plants, right? So we can incorporate that. And I think I think a very important thing is that the design should enable you to have a connect with the outside. And inside and outside space is very important. So from our rooms, can we have a small balcony or even probably if you can have a bigger balcony? Yes, balconies are very important. Even if you don't have space, a small balcony where I can stand out, have a cup of coffee, I can have a connect with nature. I can see probably the sunrise, sunset. I can see the trees on the road if there are. And lastly, I think very important design feature that we have been incorporating, and I think there's been a huge demand for this post-COVID.
yes. I was
So
about to ask this question that
yes,
how the pandemic has changed what people want from their
yes,
homes,
yes, yes,
and this is also linked to one of the data which we have is 87.5% Bangalore currently is
yes,
concrete
yes,
jungle, right?
yes,
So means outside they will not be having that. They're always clubbed inside their
yes,
homes.
yes.
It's much more important. So
Yeah.
what all can be done?
Yeah, that's very important. And I think one of the things is that earlier pre-COVID, your terrace was just a water tank space where you'll probably never go there to hang clothes or probably to, if any maintenance is required in your water tank. But I think post-COVID, we had a lot of requirements saying that my hobby is to be a gardener. I want to have a terrace garden, or like probably I want a party space, a breakout space. Some have asked us to design very nice gazebos as a peaceful place to probably do yoga. So the terrace is extended as a very important space in terms of the client's wish list, and he wants to do so much more in a terrace rather than just being, as I said earlier, a tank room. So we have designed spaces with pergolas, either with glass covering or probably a tile roof, depending upon the language of the house. And we have created very nice sit-out spaces, place to meditate, place to do yoga, a place to have a barbecue party of feathers. In one house, actually, we've done a kind of a room which was semi-enclosed, semi-thing. So they wanted to have a drop-down projector so they could watch matches while
Wow.
they have their friends over. And so these are all informal spaces, and this really helps us to break out of our house surroundings, go to the terrace, connect to the sky, probably see the sunset, sunrise. Have some plants where you'll have probably have a lot of birds, butterflies visiting your garden. Have a butterfly garden. I think it really works. Simple flowers will do that for you. And yes, I think the connect with nature at every level is very important, and I
So it
think
is
architecture should promote that.
because, of course, customers, homeowners will not have that much idea because they are doing it for the
Yes,
first time, mostly first time, the second
yes,
two times.
yes,
But as an architect, you have a complete understanding of end to
yes,
end doing so many homes. So I
yes,
think sustainability is now no longer a accessory or something which is, a bit lavish, but it is a requirement. It
yes,
should be part of your
absolutely.
homes, irrespective of the size of your home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, just one more point about the COVID, post-COVID, which I forgot to touch upon was that interestingly, we got a lot of inquiries and for people who wanted larger homes than the and it happened to us, and I think it happened to many architects also. Surprisingly, we had a lot of inquiries for new houses in COVID. There were two, three clients who wanted to build a house forever, but they never got the time together. They were very busy professionals in their life. And they said that they're going to demolish their house and build it. And it's on the back burner. But during COVID, they actually got the time to sit down and they decided to demolish the house and they started the house. So, like this, around two, three houses, or no, I think around five houses probably started during COVID. And then it was really terrible, difficult for us to do because all of our employees were doing work from home and
I think
discussing the ideas to them
this
was
is one of the industry where there will
yeah.
be no work from home,
Yes,
irrespective.
it was very difficult to communicate ideas, but yes, I think our business did our the number of projects actually improved during COVID. We were actually a little bit worried that projects might come down, but that is a good thing. Yes, and what I wanted to stress upon is that interestingly, people started coming and asking for larger spaces, like for example, work from home because those days I remember your child was also doing his classes, so he was on the probably on the dining table. Then
I
your
think,
parents were there, so even the so many people who had two BHKs were looking at three BHKs, and three BHK people are looking at four
and so
BHKs.
there is one important part at that time. The
Yeah.
sales which were rocketing was
Yes.
builders played with point 0.5,
Yes. Yes.
2.5, 3.5.
Yes.
That is the
Yes. Yes.
center part where it could be
Yes.
used for
Yes, it
activities
was
only.
it was useful. So study space was absolutely important. So people started. So we incorporated homes with home offices. Sometimes we have incorporated houses with two home offices because both husband and wife are working. They were taking calls. They could not have a proper thing. And one room was used for the online classes. And parents also need a room, probably with a TV. So the spaces requirement became more because the home became the center of life. Both office and home got merged into
Yes.
your apartment or your home, right? So because people did not go to office, and it's only when the people start going back to office that we see a small trend to reduce the number of things. But home office, every client has been asking. A lot of clients asking for terrace spaces, breakout spaces. Yes, people like to indulge in home theaters. Multi-purpose room is also a favorite now because people want a convertible room. Like, say, I have a guest. I want to use that as a home theater. I want to use that as a party space. I want to use that as a yoga space. So, multifunctional rooms are also the ask now.
So also, what is the scope we get in apartments? Because the spaces are limited for doing any kind of civil works. Because I remember we can a new room or new space need to be created. We typically go with gypsum walls with some
Yeah, yeah.
gypsum and ply support, and we do it. So is it possible in most of the apartments to do some kind of civil work, or is it we should not go with it because the reason they are using an apartment and it's a limited space, they would also
Yeah,
have that same aspirations to, at least if they are not having an individual home,
yeah,
they can make certain changes which can be accommodative for their
yeah,
living. So what
yeah,
do you suggest
yeah.
for
So
that?
this is easier said in homes or single dwelling units or in houses, but in apartments, I think this is slightly difficult. I would really discourage anybody to do civil changes because, like building walls and all that, because then that's going to become wet walls, and even the builder may not agree, or his guarantee also may become null and void because you do
Oh, I
not
think,
change the
yeah, then
structural
no change, no
environment.
structural change. RERA mein
Yes,
they will not
you
get that thing
cannot
saved.
change any structure. Don't do any wet work, but you can always do dry walls. Like one interesting thing that you can do is sliding doors, used extensively in Southeast Asia. I think it's a
So
beautiful
let's say we are
device. We
using
don't
channels.
use, yeah, we have sliding doors. You can make partitions. You can
Okay.
probably like close it and open it fully when not in used. So there are some interesting design ideas which I think I'm sure the interior designer can work out. Try to work with available space to do flexible partitions, and I think it would work. But it's much easier done in a house, not in an apartment.
Perfect, sir. And so,
Yes, the ecological question that you were
yes,
asking for. Yes, that's very pertinent. I think I just the other day I read a report that the concreted cover of Bangalore is increasing. I think it's from 85,
87.5.
87%. Yeah, that is scary. So I think going forward, as you know, that I think the environment is under severe stress, and we as architects and as homeowners and even the homeowners should realize that we should adapt more environment friendly measures. So what are these environment friendly measures? See, most of our buildings embody a lot of heat. This because you're using concrete, you're using solid cement blocks, using RCC roofs. So this has a lot of embodied energy. So it really adds to the global warming and heat. So I think should be a tendency for us to go back to our roots, look at alternative building techniques. So we have been fortunate enough to work with stabilized mud blocks. This can be done at the site. These are called SMBs. So basically, it's mud with stabilized with additives.
Stabilized mud blocks.
Stabilized mud blocks. These are
Okay.
called SMBs. So you can also be done at the site from the soil. Supposing you have a basement, you're able to actually excavate, and if the soil is okay, you can use that. Or there are good companies out there who are supplying these blocks to you. So the advantage is because it is earth, it is cool in summers and warm in winters.
Wow.
The walls and the temperature. There's a significant temperature difference between a house which you build in a stabilized mud block as what you build in a regular wall. So this is something that can be because it's stabilized. People are worried sometimes that what if it rains, it will melt away. That's not true. There are some.
There are additives which make sure that they are strong
Yes,
enough to handle
yes,
that part.
yes.
And so, cost-wise, does it impact much?
Not much. It will be around the same cost because regular walls have plastering also. These walls you can leave it. I think, of course, there may be a little bit more cost in the
Yeah,
labor
some
thing, but
differential
it's
is,
not very.
it will not be a
yeah.
significant difference.
Yes, not a single. The second thing that you can do is use filler slabs. So the RCC roof, the bottom part of the concrete is not that required actually. So you can add filler slabs, which are basically slabs with a narrow gap in that. So it acts like an air insulator. So the heat that's hitting your roof does not
So
come
whatever
down.
the gap is, that
Yes.
inside in
Yeah,
that gap.
that style is embedded in the roof actually. So filler slabs. The other thing that very simple thing that all of you can do is use cool tiles. This is something called Johnson makes it, and the other companies also make it. So these are basically reflective tiles. So this should be used for the terrace because this reflects the heat.
So inside, whoever is.
Yes, especially for your last floor, it makes a lot of sense. And these are around 60 rupees.
Because
to
in
50
summers,
rupees.
that will be that complete
Yes.
room will be a batta,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
the tiles will reflect the
Yes.
heat, so it will be cool.
Yes. And coming to flooring and windows, yes, flooring. I think we are very uh, uh, unexpectedly. A lot of requests came for clients to use Kota, Jaisalmer. These are all natural stones, very relevant to us. Whereas, I mean, we see people using Italian marble and all. These are
Yeah,
not
that's
really
what I do not
relevant to
understand,
us.
sir, because
No, this is a lot of peer pressure. Probably your neighbor has built a magnificent
Because what?
Italian
Because
thing. We have also used it where clients have asked, but our natural
sir, its
tendency.
maintenance is also too costly in my
It is
opinion.
expensive.
It
It
is
is
not
expensive.
something which is
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
difficult to maintain it. Particular
Yes.
chemicals to clean it off, something.
Yes. But our preferred material usage is Kota, which
Okay.
is a beautiful. It comes in a green shade, yellow shade, a slightly blue shade. Very beautiful material. Second is Jaisalmer marble. Then you get an Indian green marble also, which is also fantastic. Jaisalmer marble has a raw texture of yellow. It's a bright yellow, and you don't really do much in your interiors when you do Jaisalmer marble.
I'm from Udaipur, Rajasthan, sir. I'm aware of all these marbles, and I'm
Yeah.
happy sir is endorsing this. Please buy it. Is one of the most.
And then you have slates and you have
Yes.
so many stones which is local, and you can do wonderful work out of them. So, and these are much better than tiles. I mean, because these have a natural look. And if you remember our olden homes, they had red oxide flooring.
That was like
And
it
those
felt
were
so cool whenever
Exactly.
you inside.
Exactly. So now there are, I mean, not just now, even previously, architects are experimenting with different colors like yellow oxide flooring, blue oxide flooring. There's a lot of wonderful.
This red
colors that
oxide
you
building,
can
there
do.
is one. There is one Darshini somewhere in Malleshwaram or
Okay.
forgot. So they have used that, but it's an older construction. It's not
Yes.
something new. So
Yes.
for new is what you are suggesting that we should go
Yes.
ahead with it. Typically, what happens, what I understand, that they see so much information of getting inspired by foreign countries and their design,
Yes.
not realizing that as per their temperature, European countries and all, they would have a particular way of doing it.
Yes,
But as per
yes.
Indian conditions,
Yes.
what you are suggesting, sir, is suggesting as per Indian condition that what we
Yes,
should have.
we should be topical. We should be local. I feel that's very important. And see, like even in India, such a vast country, and there's such a treasure trove of our natural resources. Like for example, like all the stores that I told you are going more towards North India. But even in South India, you get wonderful. Actually, Karnataka is known for Sadrali stone.
Okay,
Sadrali is
I'm
granite. Is Sadrali stone is a beautiful material to use in your outdoors, in your paving and other things. Of course, it can you get Sadrali granite. Then the other stone that's beautiful is your Kadapa.
so this
Uh,
is
uh,
specifically from Karnataka.
Sadrali is from Karnataka.
Sadarali is
Then
from
Kadapa, I
Karnataka.
think, if I'm not mistaken, is from Andhra. You get big, lot of beautiful materials available in Andhra Pradesh, in Tamil Nadu.
Thanjavur tiles
Tamil
are
Nadu, you get you get what is known as Attangudi tiles, which
Hathanpuri
are
tiles.
very, very beautiful. Kerala has some magnificent architecture. If you see their temples and their things, so the way they use slope roofs, which is also a guard against the heavy rains in the area. The antique columns and beautiful spaces are being created in Kerala as well. So I think we have a very rich heritage and tradition. So I think we should tap into that to do something that's relevant to us. There's no point just copying that very modern houses on Pinterest. Yes, there are times when we are forced to do it because client wants it, and there's no two ways
I
about it.
think
And
Pinterest has become the board because clients typically
yes, it's a
they
boon and a
say,
bane. Yeah, it's a boon and a bane. Yes, of course, a lot of clients come with a preset ideas, but we gently try to veer them away, if possible, to the best of our ability to do what we want to do. It's a starting point, yes, but we tell them why that may not work. And yes, even after a great struggle, if the clients if we're not able to win, just so be it,
well,
because we also need work to survive. But we try to be as idealistic as possible. We try to work within the framework of what we want to do.
that's that's very insightful, sir. So coming to last of the technical question, then we'll move to a little bit more on philosophical side of architecture. So what are three things that a homeowner or a person should not compromise while getting his home done, and three things he can compromise on that. It's okay if he doesn't. It's okay if he cannot be so absolute on that. So what are these three things?
See, I think the three things that a homeowner should not compromise is one is the architect, quality of the architect, because he's going to be designing your house. So please do due diligence, see their work, meet them, see how accessible they are to you, how receptive they are to your ideas, because ultimately it's your house. Second, so as I told you, budget for the good architect. Secondly, most importantly, materials. Don't compromise on the materials, especially the ones that going into your the structure, like the kind of
Foundations of
steel.
it.
Don't go for any cheap quality steel which doesn't work. Uh, the kind of steel that you're using, concrete that you're using, the brick, the block, what you're using. So this is the structure, and I think there's a one very important thing that we missed, which I missed telling you, is absolutely you have to do two things before starting a house. One is get your site surveyed, and I'll tell you why this is important.
What
And
happens in
get
site services?
yes, and get something called a soil test done for your site. So site survey, what it means is that many times client has come to us saying that I have a 40-60 site in Jayanagar, JP Nagar, what, and we have started designing it. I mean, of course, this was much when we are new and just starting off. We designed the house and later we did the block marking on the site and realized that it's not fitting in. And we were surprised why it's not fitting in. We realized that the site is not a rectangle, it's a parallelogram. It's a 60-40, but it's a parallelogram. My building is like this, the site
It's
is
like
like this,
this,
it
yeah.
doesn't fit, right? So many of the sites that we have noted within Bangalore is not at right angles. This problem happens because the layout is not done properly.
So your
It's
layout
not
is
at
not
right.
square. So if it is like
Yes.
this, that
Yes. So what
completely
happens
sides is
is
that.
we encourage you to get a site survey if there's any doubt. The simplest thing you can do is measure all the four sides and do a diagonal measurement.
But sir, they would have their own drawings, right, of the site.
No, but see what happens is on their sale deed it mentions 60/40, but it's not necessary on the site
So
that
the
it's at right angles.
markings are not
Yes,
accurately
it's not at
defined.
right
It
angles.
is
Yes,
60-40, but
yes,
60-40 which
yes.
angles
It,
are
it
it
could
is
be a
it's
parallelogram, right? So a survey has to be done. So get it doesn't cost too much. It's around 4 to 5,000 rupees for a 60/40 site, I guess. Get a site survey done and give it to your architect. This is very important so that we know before itself to tilt the building or whatever, take care of the site. And the
soil testing you were
most
saying.
important thing that all of you do should do soil testing. Soil test means what it means is that when you appoint a soil testing agency, they will drill 2 to 3 boreholes in your site and collect the soil, and they will these holes will go right up till the where they get the hard rock or the hard soil, and they'll give you a soil test saying that what is the SBC? This is called the soil bearing capacity of your soil. So it mentions that what height your footing should go. Most of them go to 5 feet to 5. If your soil is fine, 5 feet is where your footing should go. But there have been many areas which are filled up. It's like a lake which is filled up. So we have had to go for the footing till 10 feet. Now, if I had not done the soil investigation and I put it to 5 feet, your building will be in trouble.
So
Either
sorry,
some way it's going to fail,
this is the
right?
big. So now you are seeing, sir, because there were many lakes in Bangalore which got
Yes,
filled
exactly.
up, and then there were a couple of. We
Yes.
know the locations, areas where it happens regularly.
Yes, and most
Then
importantly, if your soil is really bad, you may need to do a pile foundation. It adds to the cost, but there's a structural system that has to be done and not regular footings. So it has happened that one of my clients was telling me they built a house and later developed a lot of cracks, and then they realized that it was built on black cotton soil, and then the cracks are because these are structural cracks. And they're planning to move out of the house now. They can't do anything now. Either they have to retrofitting
so
becomes
this
very
is the
tricks.
preventive.
So
It's a
yes,
preventive thing that
yes.
should be done. Soil testing plus your
Site survey.
site survey.
Yes, yes. So this has to be done.
I think that's very
I think this
important.
is important. And the three things that I think you can compromise on, I wouldn't say
Compromise
compromise. You
means like
have
it's
say,
okay. We cannot be
see
hard.
materials which goes into building your house, like flooring and all. I think there is a range of options that you can look at.
If
See,
it is functional and quality
yes,
wise
so you
good,
can get good quality quota or
mm,
natural stones probably at 80 to 90 rupees. You don't have to really look at some 300 rupees Italian marble or something like that, right?
you can
So
compromise on the design value of it and focus on the function
yes, the
so that it
materials you can little bit scope
on
down
that.
on. Windows also you can look at reclaimed wood actually. Many houses are done with reclaimed wood. That is, a lot of old houses demolished, right? So they reclaim their windows. So
Okay.
the good, nice, hard quality teak, you can reclaim them. There's one person who's actually built his own whole house is reclaimed. I mean, he's reused it. So something like that. So yes, finishes I think is something that you can compromise. But I think that's compromise means not on the quality. It's just that you can look at explore other options when you're
When
not
you
there.
have to make a choice
Yes,
between design
yes,
and the price, then accordingly you can compromise on the
yes,
design part, with not on the
yes.
quality of it.
Yes, and one very important thing that I want to stress upon is that when you're budgeting for a house, right? So say my house budget is around 1.2 CR. Uh, uh, Please budget another 5% for other costs which you probably don't, which is not included in your contractor's cost. 5 to 7.5%. These are costs like uh, once you get your the building is done, right? You have to apply for a power connection. You have to apply for a water
Water
connection, and the
connection.
deposits to be paid. There are a few thousands, and initially for plan sanction, I think it runs into thousands to a few lakhs depending on where your area is. So there's a good probably 3 to 4 to 5 lakhs going for all your statutory requirements and approvals and all that.
Sorry, what?
St- 3 to 4 lakhs,
Three to
yes.
4 lakhs for state. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
because if you're building a house in Indiranagar, Jayanagar, 60/40, I
These are the
think your
things.
sanction fees runs into a few lakhs.
I think
So
this is.
that's very important. So you have to factor in these costs.
I know there are fees,
And
but the fees
yes,
runs
no,
that
no,
much.
it depends on which area your house is. So
Okay.
because that is a percentage of your guideline value. So it
Okay,
is,
okay,
and
yeah,
there's a
correct.
labor cess and all that added to
Uh-huh.
it. Then the other thing that you have to be careful is that when the contractor states his cost, right, the cost of electricity, temporary electricity power, and water is not additional. That also comes to around 50 to 50 or a lakh or so. So there are a lot of other costs that you have to factor in. I mean, these costs are apart from building. And lastly, there's one issue that happens now. The client says, okay, I built my house, what about cost of interiors? So that also has to be taken into.
So
So
what
many,
I have heard means I'm not means what working in this industry a couple of years ago. There is a thumb rule of what is the cost of the building, cost of your apartment or cost of your home. 10 to 15% you can take it. Does
yeah,
it apply?
around 1,000 rupees per square feet you can take for interiors. That is, probably if you have a 1,800 apartment, it's 1,000. I can at least you need to factor on 18 lakhs to 20 lakhs like that. But again, what I would really advise is because a lot of our clients who come have had this issue. They're saying that, see, my budget for this house is only 1.5 CR, and my architecture, the building cost plus this itself has come to around 1.4, close to 1.5. I suggest that do not compromise on the house part, because this is you're building only once, but your interiors can be modular. That is, first get what you need to move in. You need your kitchen cabinets and your
Fixed
wardrobes, right? That's
furniture.
all.
Fixed
So
furniture,
your
wardrobes,
kitchen and
kitchen.
your wardrobe will not cost that much. At least get that done. And later, after year, you can also, many clients bring in their old furniture, though of course.
I think old, typically the beds and which are
Yes,
high
yes,
quality
and then
solid
probably you
wood
can
things, they
upgrade it
can,
after a year or so.
nothing wrong
So
in
yeah,
using it.
no, reuse is great. See, we have one or two houses actually. You can even ask your interior designer to repurpose it. Actually, see, the repurposing is very important in terms of things. So old objects find new meanings. So you can take some, some tiles or something that you had, and you can put it on a headboard. You can, lot of creative things can be done actually. And yes, you can actually, if you have solid wooden furniture, you can actually give it another coat of polish
Yeah, because
and
they
make it
did
like
that
new.
varnishing and all
Yes,
that
you can do
treatment
that.
done.
Yes, you can do that. So yeah, you can definitely uh, uh, do that at a little bit. You can stage your interior cost if that becomes tighter there.
And nowadays there is a huge wave of buying uh, furniture, off-the-shelf furniture that is typically done in particle boards,
Yes,
MDF.
yes,
I am not a big fan of it. I don't like it.
yes.
What's your opinion on that? Means it's okay to have it, but I feel that it should not be anywhere because
See, that to be honest, that would depend, because it depends on your requirements. I'm a big fan of solid wood. I like solid wood, or like sofas.
solid
Things.
wood
Yes,
is
solid
one
wood
thing,
is
sir.
great,
But
but
this
see,
particle
it
boards and
would.
all,
Yes, that's true, but it depends on one's need. Like supposing you have like your IKEAs and other companies which are able to give you very reasonable solutions for short term. Yes, why not? You can use it, but that depends to each his own, I would say.
but
But
in Indian homes, functional value is very much
not so
important
much,
for
because
interior.
yeah, not so much. People, I think plywood is a much better material. At least and especially when you have toilets and you have got wet walls, you're looking at boiling waterproof ply for interiors. But yes, I think it's not very long lasting when you build in MDF and other things. So probably for decorative walls with grooves, paneling, all that it works.
All
But
wherever you need to
furniture,
do.
yes, it is a little bit suspect, not as durable and not as long lasting as regular furniture.
And one last technical question, I think, which all our uh, viewers would love to know is about the kitchen's part, because kitchen is the core of any home in terms
Yes,
of
yes.
what do you suggest for kitchen specifically, that material wise, finishes wise, which gives it a long lasting, because what I understand, kitchen is a non-compromising factor.
Yeah,
It is the
yeah.
most used space of a home
Correct,
aggressively
correct,
across, right? So much cooking, because we have live cooking, unless foreign countries where frozen foods and things happen
correct.
microwaves, we do live cooking. So what do you suggest for that?
Yeah, so I think it's a good question that you asked. So, see, you'll have to, first of all, before getting into the materials and other things, I would stress that it's very important for you to understand how your family lives, and understand that before getting into the kitchen layout. The reason why I'm saying this is we've had a lot of clients ask us for open kitchen, like breakfast counter. Probably they saw it in the neighbor's house or thing. But
I think all
believe
the
me,
advertisements they're done
yes,
on
like
social
you have a
media.
breakfast counter and you'll sit across. I mean, see, in our Indian context, yes, it is nice. If you're doing a very light oil cooking, it's fine. It works if you're doing mostly baking and not. But if you're doing heavy cooking, so that's what I'm saying, that it's not like one size fits all. Like, so you have to see if your house, you're doing a lot of heavy oil cooking, or you want to, even though you have a chimney, you want to have the smell, and people are going to see it in the dining. So probably the better thing to do is to go for a kind of closed kitchen with a smaller opening. Open kitchen may not work for you, but if you're the kind of guy who's more into, very less thing, more of reheating and other things, yes, open kitchen may work. So see what suits you. Coming to the actual kitchen design, very important to get the space planning right, where your hob, sink, and where your fridge is. It's
So
called
there
the
is a
it's
triangle.
called the
Yeah.
work triangle. So it's very important that they're all accessible to each other.